Coming at you with an updated take on Weezing Arbok today with Pokemon Pocket's Mythical Island expansion. This deck list was this close to being a top meta threat in our previous expansion, but it always felt like there was never an ideal third Pokemon to be playing alongside Arbok and Weezing. Tauros from Mythical Island feels like it might be the perfect missing piece for this core. This deck list has always been stellar into Mewtwo thanks to its dark typing advantage, and Tauros gives this deck a powerful matchup into things like Pikachu and Celebi, which are some of the other more popular decks in the format. Leaf is also an incredible pickup here, giving us another way to maneuver that Weezing out of the active spot when we don't have a Koga on hand, and it works well with Arbok and Tauros as well since they have 2 energy retreat costs. I would love to hear some thoughts from you all at home if there are any other decks from before Mythical Island release that you think we should go back and revisit with some of these newer cards. Be sure to let me know. For the rest of today, enjoy this updated take on an old favorite. Been fortunate enough that this is my full-time job for going on 8 years. Before Pocket, I played a lot of Magic the Gathering and Marvel Snap and Runeterra and a bunch of other turn-based and strategy card games. Been partnered for 112 months, Tubos. The man, the myth, the legend. How do you hedge the Gyarados matchup? I don't think you could hedge the Gyarados matchup. It's the reason why the Gyarados deck has the most polarized matchup tables in Pokemon Pocket right now. Decks tend to be either really good against Gyarados or really bad because there's not a tech card like Tauros or Mew that you could reach for that's good there. Divide my coughings here, which is lovely. Oh, it gets a little fart cloud effect too when it hits the board. There's a tech card you could stretch for. A card like Hitmonlee isn't really a tech card. Splashing a color for a tech card isn't feasible in Pokemon Pocket's current card pool. This clears the Raltsid 1 here, which is real good for us. To tackle for 50 and then poison for 10. Hey, thanks, Arctic. Okay, so if they have Gardevoir, they threaten to start blasting us next turn. But that's potentially fine if we draw Arbok, right? They're gonna Size Sphere me, and then we'll Koga back. Actually, if we draw the Arbok next turn, we poison them, Koga, lock them in, and then they're just dead, right? If we hit the Arbok, 1 out of 5 here. That's the good stuff, video gamers. Got Leak of the Gas. Right? Because this does 80. And then the Weezing. This does 80. They take Poison, 10, 10, and then 50. Yeah, game's actually just over. They're 100% dead. The suggestion to revisit this deck was a good one. Like Tauros. This deck was one from last season that was this close to being really top tier. It just needed a good third Pokemon line, and it didn't have any great options. Like Muck and Wiggly were both okay, but not great. I think Tauros has a lot of potential here, and Leaf is a great pickup for this deck as well. Yeah, clean first game. Hey, what's going on, Inhuman? Yeah, I'm actually down about 55 pounds this year. I peaked at about 225 in February, and I am clocked in at just under 170 last night. It's good to see you, old Magic folks, back for some Pocket. The game's a ton of fun. We're definitely fishing up the coughing here, but I think I'm going to vibe on the last bench slot because Tauros is here to help the Celebi matchup, so we want to leave room for him if possible. Coughing's Division looking stellar here. Really like that effect. That's going to play around the off chance a red card to evolve both of these out. We'll put our first energy on the Ekans in case we peel Arbok. Hey, thanks for hosting the tournament today, Simile. Let's see if they have it all. Do we have a superior into good coin flips? Okay, on average we live here, yes? It's fine. If they kill us, we'll draw Arbok. It'll be okay. Cool. Coolio. Research is lovely. They're down to 80. I was gonna say, if they don't heal Poison plus Geo on Arbok, clears the Celebi out. The problem here is I think we're gonna have to give up 2 knockout points. They'll have to lose their thing to the Tauros. Do I put up Ekans or do I put up Weezing? I think it's Weezing. I think at this point I'd rather build up second Ekans than second Tauros. And I want to play out another bench Pokemon to give something to pitch to a Sabrina if they play it. And if they're retreating the Celebi, I can just apply pressure to whatever they put into the active spot with the Weezing. Which would be nice. Or just YOLO in it, huh? That seems good for us, yeah? I guess I'm gonna need to draw a Sabrina. Is their second knockout point? Or sorry, a Sabrina. I'm gonna need to draw an Arbok, is what I mean. We're gonna have 2 shots at that, and I still have a research. So 3 hits and 7 cards with 2 draws. Three hits and 6 cards with 1 draw. I suppose if we brick next turn, I can retreat the Tauros to the other Tauros to survive another turn and get another draw. If they have a lot of Ericas, we could be in trouble. Trouble, 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 trouble. Do 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 do. I think I'm saving the leaf to retreat this other Arbok next turn. What does Giovanni do to the breakpoints? I do 70 down to 40. They Erica up to 90. The Geo matters if they potion. Just gonna play it now because I don't have any other supporters to play here. Dead to second Erica. Are both of those in the top? Well, I guess we're technically not dead to it. I can retreat to the Tauros and buy a turn. And then if I draw, like, Arbok into other Leaf, we could be okay. They don't got it. Sick. Tauros doing exactly what we wanted to do there, clearing the Celebi out. I wouldn't have gotten... Oh, I guess I would have gotten the knockout with Sabrina. I don't think so. 2 wrongs. I think if we could have gotten the knockout on the Zapdos, having the Sabrina to take the last knockout point later had a lot of value. I bet our Arcanine matchup is bad. That card clears everything in our deck in one shot. Although I suppose, in theory, Tauros with Giovanni clears the Arcanine on the back crack, so maybe... Our basic Pokemon have been big on hiding so far in this deck. We have 6 of them. Expeditioner is not surprising to see since they left that up. We need them to not be able to attack with Arcanine next turn. So we need only 1 head seer out of 3. Otherwise, with a X Speed or Leaf, we could be in trouble. Our opponent's Bull Traces continue to be incredibly limp against us. So now that they can't attack with the Arcanine this turn, that means by the time they can attack with the Arcanine, our first Tauros will be ready to go to clear it with the Fighting Tackle and the Giovanni. I think this 1 turn beat gives us the breathing room we need for the Bulls to run away with the game. Coughing for next turn is nice. So, Inferno Onrush clears the Weezing, but then puts this to 130, which then I really can't emphasize enough how much you need Giovanni in your Tauros decks on average. Actually, we could even put we could do the Weezing Koga and save the Giovanni as a surprise. I think it's actually a line next turn if they clear us, which it looks like they're doing. Yeah, I think we save the Giovanni for when we have less flexibility. But yeah, they clear us here, and then we put this up, we poison them, we Koga it out, we put the Tauros up. Energy here, fish up the Arbok. Snack, play the Weezing. Our lovely full art Koga's light up. Koga Weezing doing its best Giovanni impersonation here for us. Come for 120, poison finishes them off. And then they have all EX Pokemon here that are left over. None of them are ready to attack. Our opponent only has one knockout point. They gotta clear 2 more things to get the rest of it. So next turn, we get to leaf back out of the Tauros and then put Weezing up and crack them for 40. So we've maneuvered ourselves to a position because we saved the Giovanni that even if they fully charge this Arcanine next turn, they're still just dead. Narrator, they did not remotely fully charge it. Huh. Am I supposed to just hit them with the Tauros? What's the downside to just hitting them with the Tauros since they missed on the Arcanine? If they would have charged up this to 2, we would have had to dance around. Downside is not getting to show off the second full art Koga. Oh, don't worry, I think we're gonna have a chance. Oh, rats, they're leaving. Objectively, the best non-EX decks are the fighting decks. The Blaine decks have literally never consistently put up results in Pocket's short history. They spike tournaments on occasion, but by and large, the archetype is not good or consistent. Scheming. Tauros has text here at least. Ekans Bite into Arbok lock in place clears cleanly over 3, which is solid. Our Ultra's opponents have been incredibly unlucky today. Sweet, and there's the Arbok. I don't think I want to play the other Ekans out. I think I want my other bench slot to be reserved for a another copy of Coughing in our Koga deck, ideally. Likely to find their Growlithe or Charmander or whatever they're powering up this turn with the research. This deck likely has a bad Gyarados matchup. The only decks that have good Gyarados matchups are ones playing things like Hitmonlee or Zebstrika to attack bench Pokemon. Gyarados has an incredibly polarized matchup table. It's 70% into the things it's good against, and it's 30% into the things that it's bad against. Am I playing this out now? Yeah, probably. The double stage 1 plus Tauros formula is interesting. I kind of want to try it in some other shells. Speaking of Zebstrika, something like Zebstrika Jolteon Tauros could be worth exploring. Non-Pikachu single knockout point lightning. Charizard is the deck with the closest to a 50-50 matchup into Gyarados. I'd believe that, but Charizard's matchup table overall is also pretty polarized, yeah? So with this Sabrina and then playing out Sizzlepede, our second Arbok should mean the game is over here. They'll clear my Arbok, and then even if they evolve the Sizzlepede, we'll be able to lock it up, and they're not going to be able to do anything with it before Arbok clears it out. Guaranteeing 2 knockout points on their lead EX with Arbok is so strong. How about the Electric Spider for an Arbok style effect? I don't know that I expect that to be very good. 80 HP is a lot different than 100. But it's trying to puzzle out how they're not dead to a Sabrina, and the answer is they are, and we're done here. Discord, step into my office. We have much to talk about. The Koga, the coughing up means they die to Weezing. Another Sabrina, they're still just dead here. So we have the energy on the coughing now. They do a Mewtwo stuff or Alakazam stuff here. I feel like playing more than one color in this game is too big of a cost. Yeah, on average right now, that's true. All of the good decks are one color. Things that play two are only like B tier and absolute best. Looking like Mewtwo with Sigilif. Find out here when they play their next basic out. Yep. I'm probably just leafing next turn, so we'll play the Arbok out just to hedge anything silly happening. Like a red card or something. They're 2 turns away from blasting us with Side Drive, which is nice. And I was debating if I wanted to put up Weezing anyway, so we're just done here again, right? Because we have 1 knockout point. We gas leak, we Kogo, we lock him in place. This matchup is so comically good. Like your matchup's actually even better than the Venipede Dex matchup into here, just because Arbok locks their EXs up front. All right, for my next trick, you're staying right here and we're done. Second, they're a fighting deck. I think we open Ekans with the Arbok guaranteed and first energy advantage. I think the far-fetched Aerodactyl version is my preferred fighting build. There'll be match highlights with that up on the Hoaglandia Pocket YouTube channel this afternoon. Oh my goodness, it's been so long since these kids played against Arbok, they don't even know gamers. Don't tell Scotty. Yoda and me gonna corner this Geodude. Jump down here. Keep this Dorko locked in with us. Yeah, Arbok's corner making sure Drudagon can't run away seems like big game. I'm not sure you should ever be running set 1 Coughing. I think new Coughing's probably just better. In fact, if we would have drawn Weezing, the Mars Shadow Revenge wouldn't be active because the poison would kill this. So it's really unfortunate that we missed on that 9 cards. I take my knockout point here, but not in love with our position at the moment. Arbok is lethal. Weezing's pretty close to lethal. Lovely. Some gas. The dynamic of gas leak not triggering revenge occasionally, giving this deck decent counterplay into its type up weakness matchup is a really neat dynamic. So Arbok at any point wins the game. lock the Drudagon in for our 3rd point. Wrenches this up here, which is nice. So I suppose the Tauros and the Giovanni, there are 6 ways to eat this, Reese's. Giovanni with the Weezing was good. The 40 from the Tauros was good. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check out our meta report from yesterday, where I analyzed the over 3,000 deck lists played in our 2nd weekend of tournaments. Drew some data-driven conclusions about which decks are performing best and why. We're going to go back to working on this Arbok Weezing deck featuring Tauros. We're in between rounds. You got 15 minutes till the 8th round of Swiss starts. You with a fire energy must just be frontlining, huh? Maybe the Arcanine deck, perhaps? Weezing Arbok is a deck that was really close to being top tier last season, but felt like it was missing its good 3rd Pokemon line pairing. People tried Muck and tried Wiggly, but they were both only okay. They're not. 50% to be Coughing, 50% to be Tauros. I think Coughing's the better of the 2 for us here. Do I want a Division, or do I want to just start cracking with Ekans? I think I want a Division. Although it's worth noting, because I played out the other Ekans, I'm locked out of building Tauros on my bench now. Could be relevant. Well, I have Koga to pick up eventually. Balutin, thanks for hooking up that brand new Prime support. Appreciate it. Oh, they're Charizard with Mew. It's interesting. Gosh, my opponent's Moltres must be taking lessons from my own. That's how most of mine look. We get to toggle the gas leak and tackle them here, and then Arbok can keep the Moltres locked up. And then hopefully the Sabrina with Arbok can clear the other one as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we play a bunch of games where we're like, yeah, the Tauros is good, but I only want 1. But I wanna start with 2, just so I can hit the card consistently somewhat. Damaged. Second Arbok's a real good draw here. So we'll Koga this back. Arbok's gonna go ahead and lock in Moltres here. I don't know if I'm playing this out just yet. And then with the Sabrina and the Mew on the bench, even if they hit good energies for this Charizard, we'll be able to fish up the Mew and then lock it in with Arbok. you play Pokemon Unite anymore. The last time my wife and I played Pokemon Unite, we played enough to get to Masters. Our first match in Masters, the lowest MMR person on the team locked in Absol and called center, and then proceeded to int at every possible opportunity for the rest of the game. My wife and I shut our switches off and haven't loaded it since. We're like, yep, that's a good reminder of what's going on here. Yeah, I mean, I just let the poison kill this and the Sabrina means we're done, yeah? Oh, you know what? They could have Budding Expeditioner. I would hope they don't have room for that in their stage 2 deck, but if they have Budding Expeditioner, they could wiggle out of this. Should we Leaf to play around Budding Expeditioner? Without a second Sabrina, I can't play around Budding Expeditioner. Alright. If I had 2 Sabrinas in the deck, I could have retreated to the Weezing to play around them having Budding Expeditioner here is noteworthy. I could have saved the extra Arbok. But without a second Sabrina, that's not an out I can have. Yeah, wasting time before we play the card that beats me, or are you dead? The Candy Crush promo runs till the 26th, Doombuggy, so a little while yet. We have double potion and are playing to the out of drawing Budding Expeditioner, or are we just salty that you're locked in a room with me? I think they're just salty that they're locked in a room with me. The poison finish him again. Good night, sweet prince. I think Executor EX is probably good enough that it can carry bad cards like Butterfree across the finish line. I'd be incredibly surprised if Butterfree is good, though. Monka fighting! That's actually the one potential downside to trying to play this deck is the fighting decks are real decks now. It's fine. It's no big deal. Assuredly we'll be okay, yes? I suppose if they reckless charge me, the Weezing clears them, yeah? Because they're playing this version of Benki. Come on! I'm weak! You know you want to. What an easy matchup. Imagine being worried about weaknesses. Couldn't be me. Good night, my sweet gamer prince. Thanks for playing. Come again. Honestly, we have the Giovanni here, so even if they hadn't attacked, they were still dead, not having enough basics, huh? Play more basic Pokemon, video gamers.